as for where Season 2 could go, it'll definitely lean into the weird sci-fi elements a bit more, because the Flynne and present that we know is no longer going to be the Flynne and present we know. You know? Basically, her surviving at the end is Lowbeer using a different stub to bring her into the fold. So these two will be working together to expose the RI in some fashion without the three walls crumbling down. Even though things are a bit shaky because Aelita's little revolution, which was hinted all the way back at the start of the series. However, with things driving into a different stub, I'm curious how this will affect what we've actually seen, and in doing so, will we see all of these events play out again, but in dramatically different ways? Because the past has a lot of fork-in-the-road moments for characters other than Flynne. Tommy has a lot of tough decisions to make in Episode 7, Jasper taking the money from Corbin, and also the phone call with his wife at the railroad tracks, Bob in the hospital thinking about who should die, and Connor rescuing the dog or not. It could be an interesting Wizard of Oz journey, but also discount what has happened so far. Now, one huge theory I have is that Lev Zubov, or the one that we've seen, is actually a peripheral. This skinwalker ain't fooling anyone, and it's because of all of these kind of small hints. First off, rich and powerful people tend to use peripherals as a safety precaution, which we see Charisse use. But also that Flynne found evidence of the Zubov family dying in a mafia hit in her time back in 2032. Sure, the mafia hit was part of Lev, killing all of himself in these different stubs, straight up Jet Li in the one style, but this would make him roughly 100-ish years old. Sure, chalk it up as some anti-aging drugs, maybe it's Maybelline, but London didn't start rebuilding until the 70s. So I'm convinced Lev and the other members of the Klept, including his father, are on life support somewhere else, but piloting these peripherals like they are youthful again. We could go one deeper, and someone else could even be piloting Lev's peripheral. Hell, what if it's actually Yuri Samsonov?
Wait a minute!
Yeah, he didn't actually get wiped out. There was one of him left. He wiped out all of Lev and his family and then took over. I mean, a Klept would do that. I also think a majority of the people walking around London are actually peripherals, being piloted by essentially people or brains in tubes in the lower levels of the RI. We saw the RI having floors and floors of technology, and this would allow for the rich to essentially live forever. This could even explain the Zubovs, but the RI is using the technology to gain information to essentially evolve the next generation of robot-human hybrids. Because if we remember, Beatrice, essentially the taskmaster of this show, seriously, she's even watching game tape of the fights and everything, but she reveals she would pick Connor rather than Burton after the fighting exercise, despite Burton being the better, more logical pick. This tells me that she has feelings, compassion, something deep down she can't explain towards him. Something AI shouldn't, but is evolving into. I don't know, man. It sounds pretty crazy to me. Woohoo! If you want something else to watch, be sure to check out some of our other cool videos. Thank you for watching this. I've been Jared, and I'm gonna bolt over to Jolly O London and get some tea and scrumpets. Tip top cheerio.